legend tales of a place where the booze flows freely and the stories are always entertaining. If you are bold enough to seek out such a place, head 13 miles down the Tuscan Highway to a tiny blues joint known as the Townsmith Tavern. Once there, enjoy the ride. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to a UA production of Beer, Blues, and Bowl.
Excuse me, you can't say that. You're gonna lose your family-friendly rating. You're gonna corrupt the kids.
BS! A podcast that invites you to grab a cold beverage, pull up a seat, and enjoy time with friends. And here are your hosts, Howard Blues and the Mark Kidder.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Beer, Blues, and BS, the podcast that stopped to think but forgot to restart. I'm your host, Howard Blues, here, as always, with my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, the Mark Kidder. Kidder, how you doing tonight?
Jacob, I'm good. Oh wait. Well, it's a little dark in here. It's what? Hold on. Ah, there I am. How's it going? Good. I'm good. How are you doing there, Jacob?
I mean, I'm all right.
You're all right? Why are you just all right? You need to be better than last week. It's a new year, damn it. And here we are. It's time to get this thing going in the right direction. 2022. Here we go. Something like that.
Well said, Mark.
Well said. Yes, thank you. Rudeboy Kyle's joining us this evening as well, as if you didn't know. Now you know, but you probably can't tell because he looks like he's from a 1998 7-Eleven security camera at the moment.
Hello. Streaming at the best 720p quality, so I might be a step up on them. So
you're waiting for that 20. What was it? 28.4 K modems. Waiting for the high,
the highest quality 160p that my money can buy for internet bandwidth. So,
oh, this is gonna be great, Jaco. Look at it.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Want me to turn the lights up? That better? Matches your guys a little bit better. So,
oh, okay. Well, now it looks like he's from the daytime 7-Eleven in 1996. Got any Slurpees over there?
Potato quality right here. What else can I do?
Broadcasting from the surface of a potato. Thank you very much. Oh man, Jake, how you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Just okay.
It's kind of like I've been sitting here having a conversation with a blank screen for like 20 minutes.
I don't know, man. We just got here, so
to a reveal that was kind of underwhelming.
Well, yeah, it was me, right? Obviously,
I was accepting something big, Kidder. I mean, you stuck to that whole gimmick of like, I'm not turning the camera on. Yep. Not yet. This is gonna be big, and I'm a little underwhelmed. Yeah,
but his shirt says that I think he has been drinking. So, and it's pointing to his mug. So, we're going for the highest quality intros.
Absolutely. So, Rudeboy Kyle, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. Just hanging out, getting ready for a couple weeks off of work, traveling home to visit with family and parents, and wrapping up the last few gifts. And glad to join you guys.
Welcome back to the big show, as it were. Has your email been overflowing with fan email? Everybody emailing you like, where's Rudeboy Kyle been on the episodes here lately? Haven't seen you in a little bit.
You know what? I'll have to tell you the truth. I got this email from no one, and they requested that I answer my text 20 minutes before the podcast starts, and they said, damn it, you have to be back on the show. So here I am, and it's a great Friday night, and I'm glad to be here.
What a rousing email you got.
Well,
Was that caught by your BS filter or the spam
it must
filter?
have got caught in the BS spam filter or something. It wasn't in the inbox, but yeah, it was.
Turned around and went in the outbox, huh?
Yeah. So, but yeah, there hasn't been any email or requests from me back, but feel free to email. I'm always here. I check it semi-regularly.
Always here. How about that? He checks his triple B email.
Semi-weekly.
Didn't know you had that many semis down there. Thank you very much. It's going to be one of those years, everybody. 2022.
As long as they're not tipping over from the bad weather, we got
tipping over from too much blow.
too much wind.
Oh man. I'm glad we're off to a rousing start here. So we might as well keep it rolling, huh? What do you got on tap there, Rude Boy?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
What do I have on tap?
Are you the Rude Boy Kyle of Rude Boy Kyles?
Well, that is me. I have a gin and tonic. Cheers.
What type of gin you drinking there tonight? What type of tonic? Give us the deets.
Hy-Vee's finest diet tonic out of a 2-liter bottle. So,
whoa,
fresh and
all 2 liters.
No, we'll see through the weekend though. We'll see if she goes. But the gin itself is the Tanqueray. Little sipping action, pretty decent. Yeah. Goes down easy.
Tastes like Christmas trees, evergreens.
Yeah, you had to squeeze a lime to it if you want. Yeah, it's kind of crisp and clean. I know everybody's not the hugest fan of gin, but yeah, it's something that really the only beer that I have is leftover Busch Light from the football tailgates, so I didn't have quite the time to go stock up on a beer for B&B. So
here's the question for you: how many are there left over?
How many leftover Busch Lights?
Yeah, I mean more than like 3.
I have 7 of them.
Ooh, 7. All right.
Yeah, it was
so you might be able to get the beginning of a buzz.
I'd be hydrated. It'd be buzz might be debatable.
Drink the corn, man. Drink the corn. Awesome. Well, we're glad that you're hydrated and lubricated, because this is going to be another one of them there shows here, especially with the firmware updates that you had to do before we get this thing thing rolling.
You guys
tonight.
Said I sound good, so we'll see how it turns out.
We're sounding like we're sounding. So that's how she's gonna be. semi professional. So Jaco, it's our turn for what's on tap. And tonight, well, we got a little bit of a special what's on tap this evening, because we got a beer bought for us. That's right. You can buy us a beer. Go to beerbluesbs.com and click the buy us a beer button. But this individual,
where's my
certain someone that I know, well, you're too far away.
It's in the mail.
Too damn far.
12 to 13 days.
Free beer tomorrow.
Free beers tomorrow. That's what they always say.
Free beer tomorrow. So, of course, this individual is a regular staple, randomly shouted out during the show, as Howard and I both know this individual, and he may or may not remain nameless. But since he bought us a beer, I think he isn't nameless. You've shouted him out before by name. I usually try and throw it under the bus a little bit because I know how he likes to jump around episodes and see if because I've been, saying, hey, we talk about you all the time in the show. No, you don't. Yeah, we do. And I brought somebody else who can tell you that we do. And then Howard popped around the corner and goes, yeah, we do. You guys are both lying to me. Come on, they're making this up. So he said the other day that we needed to try this delicious beer. And he went out and bought a 6-pack for himself. And then bought another 6-pack and said, you know what? You guys need to try this on the show. So, Lane, thanks for buying your bros at Triple B tasty beverage here. I hope it's tasty anyway. Haven't opened it yet. So this is the limited release Twilight Ale that I must say Lane claims that I'm really going to like because he watches the show or claims to watch the show. At least little snippets here and there. So it's made by Deschutes Brewery in Bend, Oregon. They are family and employee owned since 1988. There's 38 IBUs in here, and it is 5% alcohol per volume. Bask in the glow of this easy drinking golden ale, reminiscent of the sunlight drifting through the pub. So it sounds like it's going to be a perfect beer for this show. Then it's got bottle conditioned for quality, live yeast added to the bottle, allows this beer to age gracefully and stay fresher longer, keep bottles upright, and stay away from light and heat. Let's see. Freshest within 4 months, and this is not within 4 months. This was made May 26th of 2021.
You sure?
That's what it says. It says package done. It says it right there. Right there. Look at that.
Package fine. That has to be a typo.
I don't know. Limited release. There you go. You get the whole look.
I'll tell you one thing. I haven't had a bad
thing.
beer from Deschutes.
You haven't had a bad one. Well, you're not having this one, so tonight might be.
That one's bordering on vintage. It's not a twist off, Mark.
It isn't. I don't think.
No,
so there,
not a twist.
There we go. Jaco, you do the honors. You've been sniffing it while I've been telling the story. So give it a taste first.
Well, we could just both go at the same time here, So cheers.
Bottoms up.
Cheers to you too. Taste a little bit extra golden, like lemony notes almost. You don't know what?
No, I said extra golden. What the hell kind of description is extra golden?
Golden,
legendary.
The easy drinking golden ale, like the sunlight drifting through. I'm tasting the sunlight drifting through the pub right now. How many have I had before this show? I don't know.
That's I'm kind of questioning that. Maybe one of those was laced with something. Tasting the sunlight.
Well, this is at least 12 full ounces of golden Twilight Ale. It's a little IBU-y for me. But it's not bad.
Yeah,
a solid 3 out of 5 for me.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. I was expecting with the smell of it, because you can really kind of smell the citrus sort of in it. I was kind of expecting a bit more of a citrus taste to it, and it's not. So it's not bad. I probably like it a little bit more. I'd probably give it a 3.5.
Fair enough. I'm glad that you enjoy it, and Lane, thanks again for this round on the Triple B. Appreciate it. He figured that we would enjoy this, which, again, not too bad. Thank you. But in Howard's case, he's been drinking some of the weird beers. So he's like, hey, this one looks pretty good. I don't know if I'm going to be able to drink this tonight. Isn't that about what you said earlier tonight?
Well, yeah. As I discussed last week, because I did not have a crazy seasonal beer for our Christmas episode, I'm punishing myself with all of the snow/Christmas named beers I could purchase, except for one, which I might pick up later. So, needless to say, Kidder, if I finish this, I do have one sitting right over here. So there might be a What's on Tap round 2 if I finish this.
Sweet. Well, I know you're going to finish it because when I finish this, I have something to talk about. And Rudeboy Kyle's going to want to be in on this as well. So there's a teaser for you.
Oh, boy.
For in a little bit because we're already approaching halfway.
I don't know if you can call that an official teaser, Kidder. You didn't say breaking news before it, so.
Oh, I'm sorry. How about this? Because you said before that I didn't have to, tell that and wave my hands and stuff like that. So future Howard, can you just toss that in right before I say that? And then it just happens anyway?
He could, but that would kill his own joke. So he won't do that.
All right.
Future Howard's got my back. Unfortunately, he doesn't always have yours.
So a 3 and a 3.5. If you were to compare it to something a little more widely available than Deschutes, if it was something, does it kind of have a hardiness of a Sam Adams Boston Lager, or is it just a good golden ale that kind of stands on its own?
That's a good question.
I would say that it's almost along the lines of one of the Sam's seasonal beers.
Okay, yeah, because
flavor.
I've had a couple of the Sam's sampler packs, the 12 pack that has I think it's 4 different flavors of 3 beers each. I've always enjoyed that one, so it has a decent taste to it.
No, it's not bad. It kind of reminds me of like a Leinenkugel's Summer Shandy, just not quite as citrusy.
Okay, so like a
That's
little toned down version of a Leinenkugel Blue Moon almost, not as orangey.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, that's at least what it conjures up to me as I'm
sure.
drinking. I mean, it's not bad. 3.5 rating, 3 rating. I mean, that puts it kind of right average, square in the middle. Not bad. I've definitely drank worse on this show.
Yep. Both of us.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, not too bad. Should we get down to business for the big show tonight? It's the first one of 22. So yes, we're going to continue the same mediocrity into another year. Thank you very much. This show thrown together within the past 20 to 40 minutes. Make it happen.
Well, we are square in the middle of hockey season, Kidder, so might as well talk some hockey.
And having the lazy goalie here in person,
Yes.
it's a perfect time to talk hockey.
Let's talk hockey.
So I'll start, Kidder, because I don't want to spend too much time on it. But you and I were texting back and forth last night. You were giving me the Avs score and such.
Yeah.
But I was actually at a hockey game, enjoying it from the wonderful seat that is the goal judge's seat, as I was goal judging high school hockey. And it was actually a very competitive game between the Legacy Sabres, who I talked about before. This is their inaugural season, and they're working on it and such. But they were playing the Minot Magicians, who in years past have had a pretty strong team for the West region. But I was quite surprised, Kidder. The Sabres would end up losing 3-1, but they outshot Minot like crazy. I mean, I want to say it was like 50 saves to 20 saves. Like, a couple of, a little bit more luck, and I think Legacy would have scored a few more goals. They just could not catch a break on that end of it. And it probably could have ended 2-1, but Magicians went on a power play with like a minute left of the game, and Sabres decided to pull their goalie. Yeah, at that point it's like, man, now you're just skating even, and you aren't stopping. At that point, like if it would have been earlier in the game, like the Sabres were just down on Minot's half of the ice almost the entire first period. By the third period, they were worn out. They're a smaller team, and so it's like, you guys aren't containing them quite that well that I would pull it off. But they tried. So, but good game. I enjoyed it. That's your high school hockey update.
Now, how about the game that you mentioned there? This is a screwy game, and I don't have the graphic at my fingertips to present here, but maybe future Howard is able to track down the list there, or I can afterward. We'll figure it out. But basically, last night the Avalanche played the Nashville Predators, and with all the COVID restrictions that the NHL has right now, the game was filled with, I don't want to say nobodies, but a bunch of people that had to get thrown together so they could actually have a hockey game. The Avalanche injury list was, I think, 8 deep with injuries and maybe 9 deep with COVID injuries on the list for the COVID protocol. You look at the Predators, they were 1 actual injury and about 8-9 players on COVID protocol, and the entire coaching staff. Coaching staff. It was a 15-year AHL coach who has never coached in the NHL, and his assistant coach came in and helped out. So I mean, it just bizarre, first of all, but second of all, I mean, you get some players out there who this is their first or third or fifth NHL game and haven't played with any of these other people, and they're trying to make plays. Just go here and just whatever. I don't know.
Well, improvisation.
It was kind of like watching, I don't want to say it almost, but some of the old women's games that we used to be at all the time.
Sure.
I mean, they had their moments and they're trying to really do it, but they didn't congeal as a team for parts of it or a lot of it, and just bad giveaways, bad turnovers, bad penalties.
It's interesting how
Predators.
Oh, go ahead, Mark.
And the Avs, they've sorry, Kyle.
No, go ahead.
They are on COVID, like timeout, basically, I guess, until December 27th. So obviously behind us when this is airing, but in the same period, it's kind of, take a full 10 days that everybody can't play. I guess good for the injuries. Get rid of some of those if you can, but at the same time, just nuts. So, Kyle.
Yeah, it's interesting because NHL rosters normally don't have the depth to handle something like this, and now that we're running a little closer to normal in terms of not having a taxi squad and an extra backup goalie, you see the reemergence of the e-bug or the emergency backup goalie, and even with full coaching staffs having to step up at It feels like you almost need like a football-sized team with your starters, second, third, fourth string guys ready to go. Not necessarily because you don't have the space for them on the bench, but having that next man up mentality of being ready to play at the drop of a hat. Yeah, it's too bad that games are getting postponed, but wishing the best for everybody's health. And yeah, like you said, Mark, a little free recovery time for the guys with non-COVID related injuries, but you run with it and you adapt, and might push the regular season back a little bit if more games end up getting postponed, but we'll see how it shakes out.
The thing that I think is interesting that is with the Predators bringing in basically this coach, and such to fill in. And you said he's what was it, AAHL?
Yeah,
right?
I think he was an AHL coach. They mentioned he'd been coaching the team there for around 15 years. So,
but think of this now. He has, because probably by the time this is done and the Predators are back, they'll have their coaching staff back. But he will now be the person with the best winning percentage at the NHL level because he's one game, he won 100% win percentage.
Just the like next that. Jack Adams candidate right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There might be a minimum games coached. I don't know.
But
of course, us worthy journalists don't get a vote in the matter, but
I know they say that votes come from the media, but I've never been asked, so I think that's a bunch of bullshit.
I think that's because we're not a legitimate sports journalism.
Well, we'll get verified on one of these platforms, so we get the little blue check or something, and then damn it, then we're legitimate.
I still think they'd have an issue with the fact that we report everything 3 weeks after it happened.
Well, so give us a Hall of Fame vote.
Yeah, give us a Hall of Fame vote. Give us something. I was just going to say that if that's the case, because I wouldn't mind having this out the night of or the next night, but then, Future Howard has to get paid more. Future Howard probably get pushed aside with a regular, hired editor, and then we have to get a producer, and then we'd have to really start making money. But we'd be famous then, so then it would all just kind of have to keep going to the next level. Maybe we'll get some sweet beer sponsorship or something. Help us upgrade our digs. I don't know.
That Deschute sponsorship is coming right down the chute.
Down Deschute. Thank you. He'll be here all night. Thank you.
That rim shot sound effect is earning its keep. Boom! The last few episodes.
See, even Sterling's going to it, or isn't that Sterling?
No, that's Berkeley. He's firing off.
Oh, Berkeley's laughing at that. That was a good one.
I got to laugh out of somebody.
Oh man, no. He laughed so hard he left the meeting. Oh my gosh.
Well,
absolutely ridiculous. This is crazy.
Come on up, Bo. Come say hi.
Oh, well, there we go. We got another Aminal on the show.
There's Bo.
And Howard's back.
Yep. Not gonna lie, you guys have been frozen on my screen for about 3 minutes. So
perfect.
So yeah, it finally dropped me. I kind of knew it was coming. So
oh, it dropped you. We thought you just left because you laughed too hard and you broke the internet.
Nope. It actually
here the sponsorship's coming down the chute.
No, it popped up on my screen. It says you've lost connection, and I'm sure you guys didn't even see it, but I just sat there and went 3, 2, and about that time it dropped me. So
no, we just saw your smiling face, like you were still laughing along to the joke. I was sitting there waiting to say the gem that, hey, if we get a good sponsorship and get some more cash rolling into this show to help improve the show, we can help Kyle get some better internet. And
Coming
you
soon.
apparently,
TM.
I mean,
trademark.
he stayed connected, and you were the one who dropped. So clearly, we need to shift the priorities a little bit and get you. I don't know. We got to get you a better computer. We got to get you better interwebs. We got to get you better networking in the house there. We got to get you a better connection to Kyle. So then we got all these things, triple redundancies on all of them. Let's get her done.
How about the logistics of getting some free beer down this way?
That too. See, all these shipping
We've got
costs.
these future goals. They're far down the road, but something to aspire to.
It's down the road. I mean, let's make it happen.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do we really want that?
Sky's the limit, Mark.
I don't know. I
right.
think it would. I think it would hurt the future Howard fans because guy's got a fan club.
It's true.
Yeah.
Future Howard could still do it. He'd just have to take those episodes that have been edited and finished and then release them 3 weeks later with his own commentary.
I'm sure he'd find some way of rewarding the OG BBB fans at that point. The people
It's,
that bought you beers early on in the process. Because who knows, we might have not enough space for all the beer that people are buying us. Or you guys.
That's okay. Kidder's got a new beer fridge.
Got a picture of it? How many beers does it hold?
Got a few.
No.
You'll have
Very
to see you'll have to see last week's episode. Was it last week? I already forget.
It was the Christmas episode. I know because I'm working on editing the Christmas episode. I may have done something special, Kidder, when you revealed the beer fridge. We'll see. Future Howard does stuff like that. Like the stuff that in tonight's episode that came out, the behind the curtain. That was pretty good.
Well, we don't want to ruin it because everybody's already seen it.
I even forgot right now that there's a surprise coming. It's like Christmas all over again.
Santa? You're here again?
Leave beer
Back
and
so
pizza
soon.
out leave out a PBR and a pizza slice for Santa. We don't leave milk and cookies.
So, yeah, good stuff. Always right here on the Triple B. How about one of these days, instead of having a remote show again, we bring Howard down to Des Moines. That's I think a good goal, huh?
I'm surprised. That's like the first somewhat invite I've had to the usual Des Moines weekend.
You guys are always welcome. I know it's never easy to travel that far, but we've got the space and ability to host. So, but do another show from under the umbrella on the back deck.
Except better.
Yeah, that was I'd say that was thrown together very hastily. But I think
That's not what I'm talking about.
Oh,
That's not
never
what I'm
mind then.
talking about.
Okay. Except
No.
better.
Except we'll just make it better.
All right. We'll leave
I
it at
still
that.
love the visuals though,
Yeah.
because we had like the perfect lighting and the perfect backdrop, and it was a very nice, temperate June evening. There was hockey on, except it was absolute dog shit. But
I love
again-
the long process of trying to synchronize Sirius XM's radio broadcast to the YouTube TV going on the projector.
yeah,
You never had
Yep.
it quite right.
No, it was never right. But we tried. It is what it is.
Yeah.
You gotta listen to some yahoo on the television. It is what it is. It's like the old days of watching Sioux hockey. Especially when they would go down to Minneapolis and play the Gophers.
Yeah.
And then we'd mute the TV broadcast and put the radio broadcast with the Silver Fox, Tim Hennessy.
Oh, Timmy.
And we'd listen to that while the TV is 15 seconds behind because of the satellite transmission and all of that through the cable network.
Well, what's
That
interesting
one we couldn't do anything with.
was even when I listened to football games live up in Ames, I bring just a small little USB digital tuner radio and listen to the Cyclones announcers do their thing. And even on live action coming through a radio that's tuned to the local station, they're about 5 to 7 seconds behind live action. So even radio has a little built-in delay to it. Probably not as much as TV, but the opener.
Now with the TV stuff, it gets a little crazy. Oh no, he's got a specialty beer.
Yeah.
Oh no. What do you got? What's on tap 2?
I just laugh that you're the one who's like, oh no, because we know that this is just actually painful for me. What I got here is actually a Shiner seasonal. It's the Shiner Candied Pecan ale brewed with pecans and with natural flavor added. So we have 6% alcohol, 12 floral ounces. It has the descriptions on here of stay toasty with roasty pecans.
Nutty.
Yeah. And then it has the description here, crack one open. When it's finally sweater weather, welcome it with this candied pecan ale in hand. Brewed with roasted praline pecans, this robust porter provides subtle notes of roasted pecan, vanilla, caramel, and brown sugar. Crafted to be the perfect companion to those cold Texas winters. Enjoy.
Cold
Sounds a little
Texas
hipster.
winters. Give me a break.
Yeah.
So let me know if it smells like the smells when you first walk into the Ralph from the student entrance, right next to the candied almond stand.
Bavarian almonds.
Not quite. It's very vanilla. Like,
okay.
I can pick that scent up, but not quite Bavarian almond smell. That's
Different
what
nut.
it's what I'm hoping that it tastes like is that. But well, we'll give it a try.
Might be a little different than the almond taste, but vanilla brown sugar, nice.
It's not that's not bad. It's got a real nice vanilla taste to it. Kind of like that vanilla porter kidder that we had many episodes back. The one that my dad called crap. Yeah.
Because we all know his taste in beer is not the same as what it should be.
Well, let's face it. He's a bit of an elitist and kind of a curmudgeon when it comes to beer. So it's how it goes. But I'm enjoying this.
Not too heavy for a porter.
No. Actually, kind of surprisingly light for a porter.
I think usually the vanilla kind of pulls that away from the Guinness type meal in a bottle type feel.
Yeah,
so I do enjoy those types of beers too.
Yeah, no, this is pretty good.
What do you say? The vanilla features the most taste, or is it something where you kind of have a double vanilla first and then nut second type feel to it?
I'm not really picking up much of the nut, but I mean, you definitely get that vanilla, but it's not like super strong. It's not like overpowering with that or overwhelming with it. It's kind of got like a nice, like the other flavors that are in there kind of tie in really nicely. It's
sure. So like a good smooth root beer almost.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that'd be a good description for it.
Cool. I'll have to see if I can find that one.
I think you should have no problem finding it. I mean, if
Shiner Pecan.
hey, Kidder, one of these seasonal beers that I can actually enjoy. It's much better than the peach and pecan beer I had last week.
It's that one didn't sound good. No.
So out of 5, what would you call that one?
And I like darker beers like porters. I'd probably rate this maybe a 4, maybe a 4.5.
I was gonna guess a 4.2.
Somewhere right in there.
Cool.
It's good. I'm gonna enjoy this for the rest of the show.
Excellent.
The rest of the show.
I'm slow drinking this one.
Well, it's time for another one.
Yeah, you should be drinking it quicker so then you have another.
I can't, Kidder. There's stuff I gotta do around the house.
Okay.
Need to have my wits about me.
Well, they'd be about you. It's just you wouldn't be able to really control them.
It'd be kind of out here instead of in here.
Yeah, hungover with a toddler who especially doesn't have volume control yet. Not great. Let me just tell you.
Well, I don't think it would be as bad as the old Jack Tennessee Honey.
Yeah, but that hangover was bad because of choices that were made while hungover.
That too, yeah.
The toddler I can't really control.
Mm-hmm. I guess, yeah. But I mean, I still, to this day, when I see the Jack Honey commercial, I'm like, I mean, I'm that way with Miller Lite or Miller commercials as well. I'm like, but.
Well, since we're on the topic, do you guys have a go-to hangover cure that you're? I know we're not as young as we used to be, but something that a meal or a drink or something for breakfast in the morning that kind of jumpstarts your recovery process, so to speak.
You know what? My cure for the hangover is don't get hungover.
Yeah, that's the smart man's way.
That's
I like a little bit of greasy breakfast and Pedialyte.
There you go.
Drink a full Pedialyte. Just sip on it all morning. Not too bad.
I've always told people that this is probably my younger days when you were young and invincible, but after a night that you wake up and stumble into the kitchen, you make yourself an omelet with a Bloody Mary. That way you can taper off just as bad as you tapered on the night before. So
just as bad as you tapered on.
But yeah, I mean, it's just something that it has the tomato juice and a little bit of eggs, maybe some hash browns or a little bit of bacon, but omelet and a Bloody Mary used to be my go-to. You accomplish something by cooking yourself a meal and making yourself a drink in the morning. Now it's time to actually get on the business. So.
Yeah. Kind of sounds like the what the hell was the continental breakfast or breakfast buffet at the Hilton Garden Inn.
Yeah.
After that show in El Forco Grande, when you guys came up there, that was good.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't tend to drink usually so much that I get hungover. I don't know. I don't like that feeling whatsoever. So
I haven't touched a jug of sangria in a long time.
Oh, it's funny you mentioned that. We had some reminiscing on it 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we did. So that was a good episode.
Best worst $9.99 that I had spent.
Yeah, that stuff was terrible. Just terrible.
Mm-hmm. That's why I said it was the best worst $9.99 that I had spent on it. Kind of like the best worst 99 cents I ever spent on an alcoholic beverage. That, of course, was the juice.
Or the Applebee's Long Islands.
I never had the Applebee's Long Islands.
Yeah.
We did the Long Islands of Boston's all the time.
Yeah.
Was it
There's a reason why they cost $1. So.
Oh, you're talking the teas at Ground Round?
Yeah.
Teas at Ground Round were okay. They felt like they weren't straight out of a mixer bottle that wasn't washed in 2 weeks. But yeah, there's a reason why you splurge for the nicer, more refined liquors for things as you get older. So
Yeah. Although
no headache in the morning.
there's nothing really wrong with going to Sam's or Costco and buying the the house brand jug of whiskey.
Yeah,
Kyle.
well, I mean, there's some good stuff. I mean, the Sam's spiced rum is decent, comparable to Captain Morgan, I'd say. Their vodka is they have a French variety and American variety, but their gin, I'd steer away from the gin. To each their own taste, I guess. But some of them are good carbon copies of the popular brands, and some of them don't go down so easy.
I like how you said that there's a regular and there's a French version. It's like the foo-foo version.
Yeah, well, there's like the American one, I think, might be like trying to copy. Although they both have the tall, skinny bottle that they sell in the 175 or the handle size. One definitely, or I'd say the French version is a very good attempt at trying to be, what's the Frenchy vodka that Grey Goose. It's a good copy at Grey Goose, and then the American one I'd say is maybe just a notch below what Tito's quality is. So
Yeah, you know, Kidder, I'm going to jump to something on here because so as you know, Kidder, last week I did not have much to add to the run sheet, much like this week. And that's because there's so much going on right now that I unfortunately I can't talk about. Like everything that's going on at my work, it's all HR stuff. I can't talk about it. So I just have not had really like any fun, exciting adventures, things to talk about. So I tried to fix that today, Kidder, as I was driving to work, listening to terrestrial radio because still no iPod. So
because you like to punish yourself.
Yes, you see where
is
I'm
it
going
talk
with this.
radio on AM?
This is
Oh gosh. Oh no.
This was the sports morning show that I tend to listen to or have been listening to since I've been listening to radio. And they were talking all about, and they were just all enamored with how great the seasonal Mountain Dew is. So Mountain Dew has put out a seasonal variation, Mountain Dew Gingerbread. And they're just like, oh, this is great. It's amazing. Da 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 da. So when I stopped at my holiday gas station for my morning coffee, I perused the soda aisle and I found it. And I'm like, well, hey, I need content for the show. I gotta
try this amazing beverage.
Gotta try this. So that's what I drank this afternoon was this Mountain Dew Gingerbread, Kidder. And
it took you all afternoon to drink, huh?
Well, listen, I'm not the slowest drinker in the West for nothing. Got a reputation to keep here. The quick kind of points of the review on the first drink, it's actually not bad. It tastes like a gingerbread cookie, but with like a little bit more punch to it, like a little bit of like an extra ginger or sour taste to it, which isn't bad until you go for the second drink. And the whole gingerbread cookie thing is gone, and you're just kind of getting that punch. If I maybe had like a palate cleanser that I was having between drinks, it might have been okay. But
cheese tray nearby.
Yeah,
a vat of frosting. What?
just something to break it down, because like it, as I said, first drink was good. The following drinks, I was like, ugh, I'm gonna have to. This is gonna be a struggle. So, all in all, good for a sip. And yeah, if you have something to cleanse the palate, you might enjoy it more. But don't just like sit and drink it alone. Not great then. So. There you go, kidder. I brought content to the show.
Yeah, you mentioned the
They didn't
the
offer it out
sponsor.
of the fountain, did they?
Hey, you need a big gulp. I'd like 82 ounces of this, please. That'll be
What
89
color was it,
cents.
though? Was it orange?
It's white.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Sometimes color goes half the way in terms of making the drink or not.
No, it was kind of a ghostly white.
Ooh.
Oh, spooky ghost.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised when I picked it up. I'm like, oh, this is the color it is? Okay.
Ectoplasm.
It's everywhere.
So
Yeah. I kind of want to try it, but at the same time I don't.
listen, I would say it's worth a try. I'm just saying that if you're going to drink the whole bottle, you might want to have some tasty snacks at the same time. Eat it with lunch or drink it with lunch. That would be my recommendation. So
All right.
there you go.
Fair enough.
Mhm.
Give it a shot. Maybe. If I remember it. What about games? You get any games for Christmas?
Didn't get anything per se. I got got a little bit of Steam gift card action, so I might save that up for something. Still working on some games.
I know what you need on Steam.
What's that?
I know what you need on Steam. Rudeboy Kyle. Let me tell you something, brother. I know exactly what you need on Steam, my brother.
Let me pull it up.
She's going to pull this up again.
You know what you need? Rudeboy
Podcast
Kyle.
Simulator?
You know what you need?
Close. Close.
Oh, here we go. Nice. Just as entertaining.
That's right. The
boy.
lawnmower.
Don't forget to add Two's 13 as your friend on Steam then. You can join in on the lawn mowing action.
You certainly could.
It started a rival lawn mowing service.
Mm.
The interesting thing is the menu music
What do you think?
is Saturday.
Because we need to get our fill of lawn care during these cold winter months.
It's true. It's true. Look at that. Hardcore.
It looks like the middle tractor has two eyes in the middle with the handles on the door.
It's true. It's looking at you. It's like
He's
a
like-
Wally tractor. Look at this bad
But,
boy.
It is.
Eyes weren't
Yep.
quite fully open on that one. Clearly, that one's been in the weed a little bit.
Look at all these features. You can get different headquarters, so then you can have a bunch of lawnmowers and people working for you. You can advertise.
I saw that that you're down to 9 British pounds. Is that?
That's right, £9 and 14 pence, and that's just because I started upgrading my headquarters, so then I'll have the ability to hire people.
Mm.
So yeah, look at these classy lawns. Go make some big dollars. All right.
Now, what makes something complex versus not complex? I saw the 5-star rating of complexity on there. What
First of all, let
type
me
of grass or
turn off the. Holy crap! The music was playing there, and it was at full blast. I don't think you could hear it, but it was sitting there just going to town over the top. Yeah, the complexity scale in there is the, first of all, objects that you have to mow around, within the yard, whether it's trees, bushes, flowers, lawn art. There's a tractor in one of them, different things like that. And then the second thing is if you hit something or you damage something, or drive too fast and you end up tearing up part of the lawn, you damage it, then the fee is a lot higher. So
Hey, you wouldn't want to run over those lilac bushes.
absolutely you would.
Just to see.
Javo, let me tell you something about the lilac bush here, son. Let's just run that sumbitch over. It's gonna go 6 times taller, 6 times wider. That's how this sumbitch is gonna go right there.
And for the audience, no, we have not told the lilac bush story on the podcast.
Oh.
Nope.
I have tried to get Kidder to tell the lilac bush story on the podcast, and he refuses to.
Maybe another day.
I mean, I could tell it, but I really wasn't there, so it's just my interpretation upon hearing this story several times. I think we need one of the participants in said story to feel the need to enlighten us. No, he's been big on the lawnmower simulator.
Nice. Does it have a multiplayer option?
Not that I know of. Not that I know of.
Go up campaign.
They did release some DLC. But that would be fun, where both of us could mow the lawn and run over each other.
Hey.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking too. Kyle.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, it's a good day. You see, the Blackened just happened to show up here. Do you still have some Blackened at your residence?
You talking the?
He must not have the wide version.
I had never
Blackened.
Never gotten the bottle myself. I remember trying some at Nico's place. Pardon the dogs, but yeah,
What are they doing?
The closest thing that I have gotten to that, I'd say, would be the Slipknot version, since it's an Iowa classic. Slipknot has, I think it's, what is it, their 49? Let me do a little quick research here.
So the reason why brought down the old Blackened here.
Oh, it's the Slipknot number 9 Iowa whiskey. That one tastes
Number
very
9.
good. Yes.
Gotcha. So the reason that this is out tonight is because tonight is the 40th anniversary of Metallica. Yeah. Ooh. So I am gonna crack the seal on this and have some Blackened whiskey this evening. And for anybody who hasn't seen the bottles yet, there you go, the Blackened whiskey. And I'm sure it's gonna love trying to focus on this stuff here, but you got to blend. There it goes. Blend the spirits and whatnot, and there's the look at the back for you. Super, super awesome with the focus. But, that's how it
take
goes.
A photo of it, and future Howard will just paste that right in.
Get the nice caramely notes here, and a little
So it
bit
was
of
finished
rage.
in a black brandy cask. Glug, 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 glug.
Kidder, you gotta talk so we can see the pour.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. Somebody else had to say something there. So we got the pour. I did a small pour on this one this evening, but I'll put it here. So then when you see it on the actual screen, then it's there. I know on the multi-view, you probably can't see it, but it's there. The other cool thing is, as Kyle knows, when they were making these batches of blackened whiskey, they flooded the area where the casks were stored with Metallica playlists. And when you look up the batch number, you can see which playlist was played for this batch. So, converse. I'll see if I can find it.
So they played music for the aging whiskey, as in like someone who's pregnant puts headphones on their belly so that their child can hear classic music. Is that my understanding?
Yeah, it's something along those lines.
Oh,
there,
nice.
yeah. So
it not only
they
has
say
brandy aged barrel inspiration, but also musical inspiration.
yeah, Metallica inspiration. So what they say on the actual website, what were you going to say, Jake?
I was just going to say, I like my whiskey to also be a concert pianist as well. So.
Forged by the sound.
So here you go. Here's Blackened. And as you can see, each batch of Blackened is a unique playlist. It was used to sonically enhance the whiskey during finishing. The well-aged whiskey rests in the finishing barrels, the music is played to the barrel, causing the whiskey inside to move and interact with the wood. Movement of the whiskey and the amount of interaction depends on the song being played, so the variation of music creates a slight nuance from one batch to the next. Throughout the process, Dave, the brewmaster of this set, tests the whiskey to determine the optimal color and flavor profile for each batch. And as you look on the different batch numbers here, this one is batch 8-9er. Robert Trujillo came up with the batch playlist for this set, and look at that. We have Damage Incorporated, followed by I Disappear, Little Holier Than Thou, The Call of Cthulhu, yeah, and then Justice for All, Confusion, My Apocalypse, and then It's Sad But True. Yeah, the batch 89 playlist right there from the old Blackened. So, let's see how much rage we can get out of this. Ooh, yeah, ooh, yeah. Ooh, nice and smooth, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Has there been a website that has rated the different sonic accoutrements to this drink? Like
That
if
I
it
know
actually
of?
makes a difference.
I think that's just a really nice fancy marketing ploy
Yeah, I
to
was gonna say,
cover
yes.
the differences, in like between the barrels,
Yeah.
Yeah, this one had a little bit more fuel and a little less Sandman to it. So,
Tasted a little sandy.
Looking to see if somebody had rated them for a different. Apparently, there are 22 different batches or so thus far. Yeah. Woo! Tastes delicious. But in a quick search, not seeing anything there on that.
All right.
But I can tell you, it's delicious. Aside from that, and Kyle might want to stay up for this one, because 40 years of Metallica. Here it is. The 40th anniversary live, yeah!
Dreaming
Starts
free.
tonight.
Nice.
Starts tonight. And you know what time it starts there, Kyle? 9 p.m. Pacific. So in 15 minutes it starts.
All right.
And on Sunday night, there's another one. But you can watch it for free there. Check it out. So,
Very cool.
but look at that. It kind of looks like us in college. No? Maybe the day that we were trying to stuff a mattress in the back of a Honda.
Crease, crumple, and cram.
I think we told that story before, didn't we?
Not on this show.
No, not on the show.
Not on the show.
All right, rude boy.
Well, we were moving out of the dorm, and I had my mattress that it wasn't from the dorm, but we were moving and trying to fit it into the back of a Honda Accord. It ended up being folded and twisted somewhat almost like a Mobius strip to fit into the back of my car, and it actually did fit. So a little ingenuity, North Dakota engineering, we'll call it. And it took several tries and a lot more time than we'd originally planned for, but it ended up working. Yeah,
We have pictures of the results.
Yeah, I'll have to dig those up. So they're around somewhere.
You know, in this last move that I made, my wife and I learned something, and my dad, who was helping, and therefore my brother as well, we learned something, and it has changed some of my thoughts on moving a little bit. Because Lefty and I, we purchased for our 10-year anniversary, we went out and bought a new mattress. We bought a purple mattress, which we absolutely love. And when it came to moving it, I actually went on because they actually give instructions on how do you move this ridiculously heavy mattress. And what they have you do, and it's pretty ingenious, is you cover it, you fold it like a taco, and then you ratchet strap it in that form, and then you're able to actually grab onto the straps and move it. And that works really great for that. But my brother, who was moving at the same time, had a futon that we were moving. And futon mattresses are notoriously terrible to move. And we decided, hey, you know, this worked for Howard and Lefty's mattress. Let's try it on this. Best way to move a futon mattress ever. We did the same thing. We folded it up, ratchet straps, had handles, went well. So for anybody who has to move somebody, like if you have a kid going to college and they get a futon, there's your pro tip to how to move a futon mattress.
I was waiting for you to say that the easiest way to move a futon mattress is to drag it out to the dumpster.
There it is. I had it up here too, and I was waiting for it. Yep.
Yeah, this is assuming that you actually want to keep the futon for some ungodly known reason. So my brother's futon is one of the like fancy furniture store ones, so it's actually like quasi
worth keeping.
Yeah. He mostly uses it for a dog bed for his Mastiff. So
there you go. Yeah, when we invested in a new king size bed for our bedroom, we ordered it, and they had to custom make the headboard and the rest of the bed because it wasn't like what was on display in the store. So it ended up taking 6 to 8 weeks to make. So they're like, well, do you want the bed early? Or we're like, well, no, because we don't have a king size frame for it, and that's why we're getting the king size bed, and it has a full length slide out drawer on each side of the bed and like a slim profile headboard, because we don't have an extreme amount of space in our master bedroom to fit what they originally had intended for a king setup. So if you guys do get a Tempur-Pedic mattress at all down the road, I would recommend you get it in a warm weather month. It's not a huge inconvenience, but when it gets delivered, it's essentially a huge slice of foam that gets packed in the delivery truck in the factory in cold weather the night before, and it has to thaw once it gets to your house, so it gets to the point where it can be malleable enough to get up the stairs and flex around turns and whatever if you don't have the space, because it's essentially one huge foam ice brick at that point when it gets delivered to you. So it ended up having to thaw for the better part of 12 to 16 hours sitting in our living room before we could actually get it up the stairs. And because we don't have a huge ceiling on our stairs just down there, it's so it's something that if you want a Tempur-Pedic, it is literally a huge ice brick that needs to thaw when you get it in cold months. So
just cut it in half, right? Just cut it in half, put it back together when you get upstairs.
The thing is that they said that if you do try to flex it beyond what it's designed to do, because it's frozen, you can actually snap the bed because it's frozen. So they said it needs to get to close to room temperature to be able to flex like you, if you need to squeeze it in some tighter areas. So it's something that little tidbit of those foam-based beds is that if you get them in cold months, if you try to flex it too much, it runs the risk of just basically like breaking a cracker in half. So it'll break open, and you don't want that to happen. So very comfortable bed though.
I enjoy my Tempur-Pedic as well. Not so fun to move.
What do you have what stiffness do you have for yours? Is it soft?
I don't even it's not soft. I think it might be the mid firm or the firm.
Okay.
But it's one of the cool breeze ones. And I rather enjoy it. It's very nice.
It takes probably about a month of getting used to, because the one that you lay in at the store, the demo one, has been laid on by countless numbers of people and is already broken in. So that's the eventual feel that you get at the store. But when you first get a brand new one, it feels like you're laying on a sheet of plywood, and they say, give it a month.
Did the salesperson tell you that it's okay to go up and jump around on it after it thaws out, because then you can help to break it in a little bit more quickly? No?
They just said, sleep on it. They say some people you can get used to it right away. Other people, they say they'd recommend try it for a month, and if you got the mattress protector, which is another $80-$90, you had the option of returning it if you didn't like that firmness. So it's something that goes on top of the mattress that is essentially like a ultra protector that would enable you to return the mattress at some point if you didn't like the feel of it. So cheap insurance in case you don't want it after a month or 90 days, whatever the return plan may be. But they said you should be used to it within a month or so. You might have a sore back, takes a little getting used to, but once it does break in, you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, no, we've been real happy with our
Howard's going Tron all of a sudden.
Could just be the ghost of Jimi Hendrix coming back. Hard to say. No, we like it. The only thing that I would say that Lefty and I are kind of about the whole purple mattress thing is we got a queen, and it feels a bit smaller than our original queen bed. So just keep that in mind. I think one of these days we've talked about eventually upgrading to a king sized one, just because it'd be great. Because she has like right now, being pregnant, she's gotten to the point where she's now using her pregnancy pillow. So when I go up here to climb into bed, I have my thin Howard-sized sliver of bed that I am allotted, and I gotta stay in my lane. The
king size bed is it gives you the extra space to stretch out. well worth it. Considering you
Yeah.
spend a third of your life in bed, or you recommended to spend a third of your life sleeping, it's kind of like you bite the bullet and spend your money on something nice and paid off in a couple years, or buy it outright.
Solely because the our bedroom in the condo, you couldn't do a king in it. It was small. Our new master bedroom here, we could easily do a king. So, I mean, but it's one of those when we bought it, because we had settled on that. It's like, hey, 10-year anniversary. This is what we're gonna get as a joint gift. So
Sure.
That was the plan.
Need a refill.
He's time to refill.
Yeah. All right.
We'll hold down the show until you get back, because
Shall
then it'll be on tap 2.
On tap. Also.
More like on tap 3.
Yeah.
The revenge of the drink. Something like that.
Yeah. Well, Kidder, while he's away, we could always talk wrestling, because I know you got a couple things you want to talk about wrestling. So let's talk about the wrestling.
All right. Let's talk wrestling. First of all, on a Wednesday, Winter is Coming appeared. So Winter has come and gone on AEW had their winter pay-per-view. That is a television show. Not too bad. Bryan Danielson versus Hangman Adam Page for the AEW World Championship. 1 hour time limit, and what happened? 1 hour time limit was reached, and it was a draw again. Bryan Danielson busted open Adam Page, so there was some blood flying everywhere. And then a couple other, good matches for the show, including MJF being the 3-time AEW Diamond Ring winner. So he keeps the old diamond ring. Overall, not a bad show, and setting up some extra feuds as we continue into the new year, as AEW Dynamite transitions over to TBS on Wednesday nights. The episode of Raw from St. Paul, Minnesota, that was this past Monday as we're recording this. Photos started surfacing during and after the show. Half the arena was empty. They moved everybody into the mid and camera facing side of the arena, so it looked like it was sold out. And the other photos that people had taken of the arena showed that no, the side where the cameras sit was empty. Somebody was arguing, well, that was after the show or during the main event, and then other people were posting their photos of before, during, and after, and it was pretty empty. So I don't know if they just didn't sell it, or if people didn't go because of the bad weather, or if people just really tuned out. But I think the live events are in a little bit of trouble if even for a Monday Night Raw, they're not selling out or even selling the lower bowl of an arena.
Yeah,
I don't know. Your take on that.
I mean, I think part of it is when you get into it, there's at first there's just the sheer cost of the tickets are one thing, but it's the quality of the product. There's just not a reason to watch. There's not a lot of great storylines. There's just, it doesn't surprise me. And this isn't the first time that, there have been reports and photos like this, before. It's happened quite a bit. And, it's getting to be towards Christmas time. I'm sure people are looking at traveling. it's that time of the year where people rack up the most debt as they're trying to buy gifts for everybody. So it might just also be with, not to get into current events, but with the current, state of the economy, it's very possible that there are people who just can't afford to go to Monday Night Raw.
Mm-hmm. Now, I will, to some degree, defend them, because when I was at Royal Rumble it was beginning of 2019 already, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The whole arena, and of course, it's at a baseball stadium, so set up differently than a regular arena where WWE would have an event. But they set up risers and the cameras and whatnot in the outfield. So the chairs and everything were on the platforms and, should I say, flooring that they had put down, or I guess they moved the whole turf outdoors or somewhere else. I don't know. But it's all on concrete. So everything was shaped in the infield and the seating. So the way that had the ring set up, when you see it on television, it looks like the whole place is packed. I get it, because less chairs to set up. There isn't stadium seating on that side where they set up the camera, because again, it's the outfield of a baseball stadium. So it makes sense there. But for a regular arena, like a venue that you would go to, whether it's wrestling or a hockey game or a music concert, you would kind of expect to see more of those seats filled in.
Yeah. Although, I mean, when you think about with some concerts, depending on the particular arena's layout for a concert, you could have half the arena empty because it's tarped off and is backstage technically. So,
yep.
I mean, it's not unforeseen. I'm just saying that, this isn't the first time that this has happened, and WWE is still around. I mean, I was hearing reports of similar situations in 2016, 2017, 2015.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
we'll say WrestleMania back in the day was packed. So,
well, I mean,
there's still enough people going.
Right. And I mean, I'm talking about house shows. And Raws and SmackDowns. We're not talking pay-per-views, because people will always turn out for the pay-per-view, because, that's when you might actually get something good.
Yeah. Like pay-per-view guy. Should have jumped the barrier, ran down, and who are you? How do you get to all of these shows? I should have done that. I'm sorry, I failed.
Kyle's guard dogs are
yeah, they
keeping him safe.
They fire off at the slightest little sound, so we'll have to put Berkeley into his kennel for night time. So,
speaking of that, the second part of the South Park movie feature has been released. The COVID special, where they're later in their lives. I haven't watched it yet, but
I have to catch up on it, because we splurged for the free month of Paramount Plus, so might end up maybe watching a little bit of that tomorrow. We'll see.
Yeah, make sure you watch the first one first.
First one first.
Then watch the second one second.
Oh.
I was totally going to watch them out of order. Second first.
Sage advice.
You totally would do that, but I'm surprised that you finished more than one beer tonight. Anything is possible.
I usually finish like 3 during the course of a podcast.
He's had 3.
I've only had 2.
Oh.
I didn't do a sacrificial.
I'll send you a bush light from here.
Yeah, have your latte in the morning.
Yeah.
So, I know that for you, Jake, it's going to be quite a while until you get the next Halo. But Rude Boy downloaded or picked up Halo, I should say. Did you get it downloaded and everything?
Yeah, we played.
The multiplayer, yeah.
Oh yeah, we did the multiplayer. Yeah, I also got the campaign. I made about 10 minutes into it, and probably play a little bit more tomorrow sometime. But enjoying it so far, pushing them buttons and making my way through. And
go find this and push this button.
Yeah.
Think of you every time it's like, we need to go here and activate this. I'm like, Kyle's going to love this part.
Well, it just, I enjoy the graphics, the story, but the overall progression is, they tell you, you got to go here and push a button. You got to do this. And it's like, let's go push another button. And it's
vintage Halo.
Yeah, it's classic to its roots. But yeah, I'm looking forward to whenever they release the co-op campaign so that we can all get in on the story shenanigans together. And because whenever you release a game these days, they can't give you every feature. You gotta be tantalized for a year and a half and be given DLCs and all that. So capitalizing off of our nostalgia.
Well, I did not purchase the battle pass.
No, I didn't do that either. I'm not going to do that. I've learned probably 3 or 4 handfuls of lessons of spending $20 and it gets you skins, non-functional, useless, and contributes nothing more to the game than purely aesthetics. So
that reminds me, I should log into Call of Duty World War II and see how many more pistol grips I can get.
Oh man!
Oh, here's another thing I'm not going to use. Here's a duplicate. Here's a duplicate. Here's a duplicate.
Poor game devs that are scratching and barely making money on folks that and kids that spend their parents' hard-earned money on skins and grips. But enough banter from me. It's, you know how I feel about it.
Tell us how you really feel there, Kyle. You're gonna have to create a t-shirt for you. Kyle, tell us how you really feel.
Yeah. The bitter memories of when you spent $60 for a complete game and you actually got one.
Nims days and all over there, Kyle.
Hopefully it's a slow-moving pendulum that swings the other way and we get the... I will say on that, contrary to my bitter view of games being released that are not complete, I did pick up the new Age of Empires 4. I was a big fan of the Age of Empires back in the day, and I will say that the new release, Age of Empires 4, is very fun, educational, and it plays true to its roots without being inaccessible to new players, because it's been a long time since they released an original Age of Empires. They released definitive editions that are updated for new hardware and all, but they've also included new game modes that basically make it impossible to fail a mission, but you're more in it for the story aspect, which they do a good job of providing a 4K quality HD intro video to why this ties into history, and they show how the current area was, and they provide drone footage over the same battlefields that they did battle on. They have some history tie-in that there's people that are trying to preserve that history and recreate the history of building a castle from original tools in the current time. And they say it's a years-long process, but they do a good job of pulling in, if you were to buy the game, that even if you haven't played any Age of Empires before, I really like how if you're more invested in the history aspect, you can still really enjoy it, because it doesn't have to be competitive, because you're making the same strategy decisions that they did back in the day, but there's also the aspect of the competitive building, taking advantage of whatever civilization technological advances they had at that time. So I really enjoyed it so far, and I'm only probably about a quarter of the way through the whole story of it. But if you do have the option of picking it up, I'd recommend it.
What time period did they go with for 4? I haven't seen anything on it, so.
They started with the Normans and the conquest of England in 1066 to 1217. The 100 Years' War, the conflict of England and France, the Mongol Empire, and the rise of Moscow. Yeah, it's I've only gone through the Normans campaign. There's 4 different campaigns. They're probably going to come out with more as free expansions or DLCs. So there's the Normans campaign, the 100 Years' War, Mongol Empire, and the rise of Moscow. So it takes you through a decent chunk of history.
Yeah. I played 3. I played Age of Empires 3, and the big selling point for me on that was the age of exploration and colonization.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that one. I also really enjoyed, and I always wish they did a sequel to it, but they did Age of Mythology as well.
Yeah.
It was kind of a spin-off on it that dealt more with the mythological, and I enjoyed the heck out of that. That's probably my favorite Age of Empire game, but I haven't played Age of Empire since college.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it's been really enjoyable, and it really ties back to if you've played any Age of Empires, Age of Mythology before, you feel the connection to the game, but you also can really enjoy it if you haven't played it before, and you just say, I want to focus on just the story, not the competitive aspect of this game, and really sink your time and progress at your own pace, as opposed to being competitive and saying, I need to build 60 villagers, and how do I do that? How do I do this? How do I expand? How do I develop technology, military? How do I go after somebody else? It can be very guided for the newcomer, and it can be also very independent, and you play whatever style is best for the civilization you're in, because each one has its advantages and disadvantages. So yeah, I do enjoy that one. It's gotten generally good ratings so far, and
which is impressive, because I mean, you don't hear a lot about real-time strategy games coming out.
It is a genre that it seems to not get the attention or the development that it normally should, because it was very popular back in the day. But nowadays RTS is good to find a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I remember playing, the Command and Conquer Red Alert series when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I got into the Dawn of War series. Was probably the last real-time strategy game I got into. Total War is still out there and really popular as a series, but I've watched some gameplay of that, and I'm just like, to me, that's like over my head. I've watched people play that. I'm like, I have no idea what all you are doing. That looks a bit too much. Too much time would I have to spend to learn that I would never really get anywhere with it. So,
yeah, I think that hopefully, even if it doesn't spawn a resurgence of the RTS genre, it can at least stand on its own, saying that this is possible. You can make it accessible to anyone, whether they're more invested in the history aspect and the learning of how the battles went down, versus you can even, within the same game, you can make it just as competitive to online gaming and esports, because there are plenty of people that stream and competitively play Age of Empires. Still, even the Age of Empires 2, 3, and now with 4 coming out, there is the competition, even though the audience doesn't have the exposure that a lot of these MMO type games have out there.
I will say too, you guys are talking about old versions and new versions of these RTSs. Star Trek Armada and Armada 2, which were two of the huge RTSs that I played, along with Command and Conquer, a few of those. The two Star Trek Armada games have been re-released to be able to play on today's computers for the 55th anniversary. So
sure,
it's pretty sweet that excuse me, that those games are now available, along with I believe it was 6 other games from about 15 years ago that or even longer than that, I think. But I played them back in the day, and they're not compatible with Windows 10 or 11. So the company remade them so they're available for purchase now on today's software. And of course, the processing power that's available now just murders those games because they're so simple in today's terms. But Elite Force, do you guys remember that game? Or Elite Force 2? I don't know if you remember me talking about it back in the day.
I remember the game, but I haven't played it.
Those were two fun games, which were, for lack of a better term, first-person shooters, and based in the Star Trek universe. And specifically, the first one was on USS Voyager. And as part of the expansion pack, you then had access to basically the whole ship, so you could search the ship on your off time and go on the bridge. And it was funny because you could find the control to hit red alert, and so you'd switch red alert and it'd turn to red alert, and then of course everybody's on the ship, and Janeway turn around, what are you doing? This isn't red alert, and it turns off or something like that. And then of course, because what else would you do but shoot her? And then they all turn on you and security starts coming in from everywhere, and then you have to keep killing people until you die because the whole ship's after you. Super interesting stuff.
Wow.
Anyway, I haven't purchased those yet. I've been too busy minding the neighborhood lawns. Yeah.
Wow.
I will say it's a really relaxing game. You sit there and it's just kind of zen. And I can't mow the lawn now, so
Yeah, I kind of had the same feel of Train Sim World. I have that one. It's you're able to drive anything from city commuter trains or high speed things, and
can you drive the train at the zoo?
no, this is like no, it's either they have like cargo or hauling type trains where you can do train lines. They have like city commuter type ones that are quick stop, quick go, short stops in between while you're while you're minding the signals. You can make it. I mean, it's like I said, it's kind of a fairly accessible game. You can make it easy so that it'll tell you when to slow down or when to speed up, or you can do it full realism and immersion where you're watching for signals on the side and making sure you don't go through a red light and minding your speed limits and everything. So it's nice to play those easygoing but still simulation type games every now and then. So it's something that you still have to pay attention, still make sure you're cutting your grass line straight and everything, but you're still able to just kind of zone out and kind of do the same thing over and over again, but you're still making progress to mind the hour-long progress on a commuter train line or a cargo mission that you're hauling a mile-long train full of coal or something out of a freight yard. So
wonderful. I used to play the train simulator back in the day, a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
This I think it is the Microsoft Train Simulator, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Run this crazy train off the tracks.
Well, what's surprising is that Train Sim World is, if you were to buy every single expansion to it, is one of the most expensive games on Steam because they develop so many engines and freight lines and commuter lines, and the base game itself is very I'd say is well worth it, but the people that are into trains, and I'd say they're like, you're either very, very into trains or you're not, or you just get the game and you get maybe an expansion or two like me. But there's some people that will invest thousands and they have a full control sim setup that is similar to what's in the train. Kind of like my steering wheel right back here for my racing sims. They sink that amount of money into train sim configurations, and they have a full sim setup just like a flight sim or a racing sim. They have their train sim set up, and they love it. So it's something that, it's a very niche hobby, and they're able to simulate it on the PC or Xbox or PlayStation, just like the people do in real life. So
it's crazy, man. It's crazy. To those people, I say, just go work for the train company because they probably need some help.
might as well get paid to do it.
Yeah. So just we talked about conspiracies a little while ago, with the gaming. One conspiracy that's floating around right now is, as we talked about last week, with Jeff Hardy being released from WWE. The conspiracy is that he purposely acted that way to get released. So now he is a free agent, does not have to worry about the non-compete clause for 30 days or 60 days or 90 days because he was terminated and now can go work on AEW or any of the other promotions or do whatever he wants to do. Jake, your thoughts?
Gonna call shenanigans on that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, listen, they released other people who have contracts, and the 90-day non-compete clause is not contingent on like, hey, your contract is over, goodbye. It's if you get let go or anything like that, it's you do not compete for 90 days. So
how about the first part of it then? Of even if you take the 90 days into context of, okay, 90 days, still shorter than 2 or 3 years.
Now that would make sense, if he was just trying to get out of his contract. Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility. But yeah, if you're thinking that he's doing it to just get to waive the non-compete, then I disagree, because they've released a lot of people who had perfectly good contracts. It's not the same.
Yeah.
So.
Just interesting, right?
Yeah.
And as a side note, just a quick congratulations to Diamond Dallas Page, who got married last weekend. Congratulations to DDP. And as we're on congratulatory things, I think we need to congratulate ourselves. The reason is because this is the 40th episode of Beer, Blues, and BS. The big 4-0 of Beer, Blues, and BS, right? Triple B. 40 whole episodes we've been doing this as an actual thing. If we don't include the other 35 plus episodes that we have as like side episodes. Right? So
Right.
The cool thing about it is, of course, it coincides with Metallica's 40th anniversary. And look at this, courtesy of Amazon Music and the other place that's not here. Metallica currently on stage playing night 1, the 40th anniversary show.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Well, Kidder, on that note, we've been talking for quite a while. I think it's time that we wrap this up.
All right. Well, I will this time, especially because I saw Lazy Goalie giving it the biscuit.
Oh, you guys go as long as you need to.
He's giving it the biscuit through the potato. All right. Well, we talked about our website, of course, beerbluesbs.com. We talked about Facebook, so you can give us the thumbs up on there. Let's talk about the audio versions. If you're listening to us right now, thank you very much. You can join us on pretty much every audio version of every podcast service that's out there, including iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, including the podcast section of Amazon Music and Amazon Podcasts. So make sure you join us there. Google Podcasts on Google Play. Apple Podcasts on the Apple App Store thing there. Also, we're on Pandora and Stitcher FM, IMDb, just to name a few. You can find the whole list on our Podbean page, which you can find on beerbluesbs.com. Great place for you to check out. Through the page there, beerbluesbs.com, you can also find the video versions of the show. Watch them on YouTube. Again, beerbluesbs.com, if you would please join us there. Lots of stuff on the website, including the chance to buy us a beer. And again, thanks to Lane for buying us that round this evening. If you'd like to do that, again, beerbluesbs.com. So, Rudeboy Kyle, thanks for joining us again.
Always great to be here, guys. It's I love sounding off and being part of the traditions and sharing stories. It's always a good time.
Well, it's always good that you can sound off once you get your sound on. So thanks for joining us. Even though you're coming to us from a potato, we'll try and get you some more gigabits on the next round. How about that?
I'm looking forward to it because fiber's coming to town sometime soon, and it looks good on my end, and you guys look excellent on from where I'm looking at you, and so yeah, it's always a pleasure, and Yeah, thank you guys for having me on tonight.
All right. Well, you're welcome. Thank you for joining us, and we'll hope that the Google gets the gigabits in the right places, and then the final product, it doesn't actually look like a potato squared on the bottom of a water bottle or something on top.
I don't know if you're talking about me or my internet quality, so I'll go from there.
He's taking shots at himself. It's time to end this thing.
Hey-o.
He doesn't need anybody to make fun of him. He's making fun of himself. Stand by for more. Yeah, we'll have the old Rude Boy back, and you can get a hold of him at Rudeboy Kyle at beerbluesbs.com. Hey, Howard Blues on the other end. Thanks, brother, for another week as we start out this new year on the 2022s. Here we go. I am the man, the myth, the legend, Mark Kidder. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Beer Blues and the old BS thing. Here's to, again, another hopefully more successful year than last year. More awesomeness, more stories, more beer, absolutely, and more BS. Remember, there's free beer tomorrow, and, well, keep that glass at least half full. We will catch you on down the old dusty rockin' Tuscan highway. See you on the next episode of Beer Blues and BS.
You have been listening to a UA production of Beer, Blues, and BS. If you enjoyed the show, help others find out about it by rating the show or leaving a review at your podcast listening service of choice. Thanks for listening, and may your glass never be empty. UA Productions presents A Glimpse Behind the Curtain.
Okay. Well, wait, am I ready?
Are you? Are you ready? Are you ready for this?
Oh, I
Are
guess
you
I need
hanging
a
by the
bottle
edge of your seat? Out of the door where the bullets rip. Repeat to the sound of the beat.
Deet, deet, deet.
Well, I'm ready. You know, with your black screen, I'm going to need an actual verbal confirmation, Kidder, if you're good to go. Or if you're even still there. I don't think he's there, Kyle. I think he left.
AFK God. Withholding suspense.
Yeah.
Sleepers.
Yeah. Now he's. Are you finally ready, Kidder?
Oh, yeah, I'm good.
Sit and asked if you were ready, and I think you left, but because we can't see anything, no answer.
No answer.